Aloha. Today I wanted to share a thought that I had yesterday. I was thinking about the relationship between excuse me, consciousness and humanity, and how you can have not just consciousness and humanity, but the spirit and the body, and how you can have a relationship with a person. You can have, like, you feel a certain way when your pet passes, or you feel a connection that is generated from your spirit. It's not from your body. Your body isn't. Your body might have side effects to the loss or the grief or whatever it is that happens, but it's really a part of your soul that needs to heal as the all-encompassed being that you are. And I was thinking about how you can have a conscious human, and it's really just about intelligence in the body being able to house consciousness and intelligence. So we've understood that even the most, like, microbes have an intelligence of some sort. Parasites have an intelligence of some sort, to where they have survived. They can live off of other living beings. So if that's true, and you can have various layers and levels of consciousness in different beings, and we have conscious humanity, then there can also be a conscious parasite. And based upon the observation of our reality from the human perspective, how far everything's gone from our basic understanding and feelings of relationships to nature and each other, the earth plane, it's not that difficult to see that there is a parasite that is running within the human experience. And this is not about race, and if you're still having difficulty with processing that information, race is involved in the storyline, but when I speak, I'm speaking from the perspective of spiritual warfare. This is an energy. Like when I mentioned black and white, that's not a person, that's not a thing, that's an idea that you've been told to think and act as to dumb you down. It's a vibration, it's a frequency. Excuse me. It's a mentality to keep people thinking and acting a certain way, both those who consider themselves to be the vibration of white and people who are living in the same community as society and around that vibration. But that's all like a layer of consciousness that still exists within the system of spiritual warfare. So in order to understand and expand the level of consciousness outside of the control grid, I focus my energy and my perspectives on coming at this entire program from a spiritual warfare, and the side effects will be obvious over time. You can see the side effects to a spiritual warfare is the military-industrial complex. That's one of them, the prison-industrial complex, sending drones overseas to kill innocent people, civilians, children. Voting. Spiritual warfare is, you've seen it a side effect to that largely in this last election. The amount of separation from humanity that people had when they were free, literally waiting to speak those words that Trump set up the platform for them to speak. Holding in all that energy. Like I said in previous videos, the Civil Rights Act didn't do anything for racism. It didn't do anything for the psychological segregation. In fact, it made it worse, because just like people had to go indoors and keep their mouth shut when Obama got elected as president, and you can see proof of that now with how people are acting now with Trump, the way the words are flowing. The same thing happened back in the day with the Civil Rights Act. The people owned slaves. People still own slaves today. People owned people, were lynching people, burning and bombing people, dragging people behind cars on ropes, sicking dogs on people, water hoses. A lot of that stuff is still happening today. But back in the day, it was legal by the government. Had actually approved those actions. If that's not an understanding of a parasite running the system, then I don't know what is. And that parasite through energy. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's not so much about race, because it's not so much about the body. It's part of the story, yes. But this is more about the spiritual warfare that is going on. And there is a spiritual parasite that is running crazy through the entire human experience. And this is why we don't even understand what human nature is. We're caught up in the box of the economy and the fiat currency system and the mainstream storylines and mainstream religions and all this other stuff. Those programs that we're caught up within that exist outside the connection with nature and humanity, that is the design of the conscious parasite that has to live through the experience of other people. So imagine some sort of energy that doesn't really need a body to have an experience. Like how you can have a parasite in your body but you can't see it, it's so tiny. The same thing can be on like the etheric plane. So there's an etheric plane. There's like, you can understand like your experiences with, so you can actually see these parasites when you are in your dream space. You can face these programs in the subconscious realm. It's not so much about the body. It's not so much about the conscious reality. That's just the side effect to the subconscious infinity, where these energies really are. Like I said in previous videos, you yourself are 99% of your 99.992 and keep going on and on and on, because you're forever expanding. You yourself are that umpteenth degree of the 99th percentile of the soul, which is your subconscious record, your subconscious forever system that is forever growing and expanding, with having the experience of the conscious reality, this physical reality. Density is only this energy is only 0.00001 forever of this experience. How that exists is that you are forever growing closer to your soul essence. You are forever raising your vibration. And you can understand raising your vibration from one vibration to another could be understood like life and death. Or birth in itself. It's just another doorway. You are raising yourself to another. You learn so much. You're not going to unlearn. You're going to forever keep on expanding. Even if you have the worst experience ever, you will forever continue expanding your consciousness. That's who you are. So if that reality is 99% of our reality, and it's more of our it is the reality, your subconscious realm. This is why these Hollywood movies and the university system and the fear mentalities, the lower vibrations get manipulated so much, because you have to be locked into your physical reality, so much so that you are locked out of your non-physical reality. And when you are locked out of your non-physical reality, you allow space for non-physical parasites, entity, beings to inhabit your reality, because you are not you are not tapping into that energy. You are not tapping into that realm. So this is why the materialistic reality is bombarding us so much. This is why we have middlemen like the church and the mainstream religions between us and the Most High Essence, us and the soul essence, us and the soul connections that we have with each other. This is why the materialistic realm is the way it is. This is why you are so focused on technology, because it's physical. This is why you're so focused on putting a bunch of fucking bombs on the bottom of a big spaceship, penis looking spaceship, to shoot it in the so-called space. It's not shooting into space. It's just it's a program, it's a story, it's a movie. It's a real life movie to make you believe in the physical reality of the infinity. The science, the physical infinity is science fiction. That's what NASA is. That's what the space program is. So if they convince you that your infinity is based upon the nebula that the Hubble telescope takes pictures of, and all of this light years and stuff away, then that's another way of separating you from your internal infinity. That is the design of this program, to externalize and physicalize every part of your reality and make you so enveloped, so separated from your soul, that you can manifest sickness and disease. You will manifest parasites into your reality. This has been going on for so long, so many generations. You can't be so blind to see that humanity is the only group or being that can house intelligence. You have to humble yourself and realize that there is an intelligence that is higher than the university system, that is higher than Neil deGrasse Tyson and all this, that there's an intelligence in the soul that doesn't need a body. There's spirits that exist. You are a spirit. You are a soul. So what is going on in that realm in reference to why things are the way they are in this physical reality? There is no separation between the two. The way that this physical reality is manifesting is a side effect to a spiritual program. First, like I said, before it manifests in the mind, it has to manifest in the soul first. You have to be separated from your soul in order first for you to be then separated from your psyche, your intelligence. And then once you are separated from your intelligence, your mind, then you can be downgraded or de-evolved in the physical realm, in the physical body, where these disembodied entities can make themselves out to live within these fake kings and fake queens, because they have paid their energy into that experience, that program. That is what these Hollywood actors and actresses and these politicians talk about when they slip up and say something like selling your soul. It's a literal thing. At the expense of what? Well, you can see it every day when you have the haves and the have-nots, and people being bombed by drones, and people making a profit off of sickness and sickness and disease. There is a profit off of ignorance. Look at your YouTube trending. Look at your Yahoo homepage. Look at your local news. Look at your mainstream media. Look at your social media. Look at what's trending there. Look at what's popular. Titties and ass on Instagram and Facebook, turning it into videos and pictures, and everything is about worshiping the lowest common denominator of the physical human experience. It's shallow, it's weak, it's dense, it's rigid, like I explained in the last experience. If you're too rigid, if you're not, the difference between the spirit and the body is that the spirit is forever growing and flexible. The body will end. The body is rigid. And if you focus your entire experience on the body, you have a tendency to break and be broken from that rigidity. So once that's an actual alchemy. The entities that are disembodied, that are living in a backwards version of the spirit that has separated itself from the Most High Spirit, that since it has separated itself from the Most High Spirit, it can't inhabit from the depths of experience the beauty of the physical experience because of that separation. So it has to live through the broken, rigid natures of its intelligence, downgrading and de-evolving those entities, those beings who still have a connection with the Most High, who still have a natural relationship with the body. They need to be broken the same way the military breaks your spirit when you go into basic training with the drill sergeants and all that. That's the intention there. The same way the teachers have to break these children into loving the public education system. The same way you have to be broken over 12, 13 years of education to want to be an American dream and so on and so forth. It's about breaking the spirit. Once you break the spirit, then you will break the body. And on the spiritual level, you are breaking open your journey and that energy that is your experience. Like I said in the previous videos, you have Mozart's, Malcolm X's, and Beethoven's and Debussy's working at Target and Wendy's and KFC. And that's an actual energy of the spirit. You can see in reference to like the human spirit. So if you are your spirit, you are your soul, then you can also understand that collectively humanity has a connection with each other. And that connection is the human soul. So that's an actual energy. That's an actual thing that can be, it's an alchemy that can be manipulated by your intelligence, by your emotions. This is what the university system is, and Hollywood, and your mainstream media, and this artificial authority figure that is the government, and so on and so forth. Your soul, your relationship, your body relationship with your soul can be manipulated through the intelligence and the emotional body system, and more bodies than that. This is why you have these religions that are missing so much, that are when you had more people who died in the name of religion, some kind of religion, than anything ever. There's something upside down and backwards with that. And in order for it to do that, it has to convince you into its purpose, its meaning, its relevance in your experience. So we get bombarded. We get stripped of our natural connections with nature, our natural connections with culture, our natural connections with each other, the Most High. We get stripped of everything that predates this parasitic programming in order to maintain a system of ignorance where these parasites can profit off of our ignorance. This is why you are constantly distracted with video games and social media and technology and materialism and vanity and all these, like the Golden Globes and worshipping of this. Even the Golden Globes, that's a globe programming right there. It's another obvious globe programming. It's this constant separation. It's a parasite. It's literally a parasite. But we won't see it like that because we love this shit. We love in fact, the reason why we say we love this, and it's funny to even say that, is because we don't even know what love is anymore. We've commercialized love. They use love to sell cheeseburgers these days. They use love to sell anything. Pencils. I mean, it's ridiculous what is happening there and what that really does to your reality. If your love, the power of love and connection and everything that stems from love, that's the actual essence of that. If that itself is turned into a plastic paperweight, then what do you have to look forward to in life? If some of the highest vibrations of your experience are turned into fast food, it's garbage. So that could be seen obviously on the physical reality with your food and your water and even your books. Like, I remember loving doing science projects. Like, that was the only time I really liked school, is when I was free to figure out something. And my first science project, I won second place from testing the lead in water in 10th grade. I wanted to know, like, why there was lead in water. In 10th grade, I wanted to figure this stuff out. And it was something really, like, good. Like, people were coming out. I'm just remembering what was happening now. People coming up and talking about, seeing that little board with the trifold and all that stuff. And but that's a love of work, of experience, start to finish, to complete something, to share something. And that can be understood as, like, loving intelligence, or loving that experience. It's not just intelligence, but in reference to the intelligence of that we think is intelligent when we go to high school or get a bachelor's degree. That's that's the commercial form of intelligence, but that's worshipped today. That's what makes people so-called successful. It's a different energy. It literally is like a fast food or commercial version. It just takes 4 years to do it, or 6 or 12 or whatever, a PhD all the way up, whatever you're doing. It's still fast food. It's still commercial because it's not your intelligence. There's a difference there. It's not you that's doing something. It's based upon a system that is really only based upon remembering things and regurgitating information. It's different when you are tapping into your depths of intelligence to bring something out into reality. So just imagine, each person is a university system. Each individual is their own teacher. They are their own growth system. But this parasite has created a system based upon the fiat currency system, based upon separation, dominance, authority, and codependency that funnels all of that potential, all of those potential energies and intelligences into its own evolution, into its own expansion. And when you do that, when you submit to that, then you are losing something. It's like another version of selling your soul. When your parents give you a birth certificate, not knowing the alchemy of the birth certificate and your legal name and all that shit, that is an alchemy. You are literally a piece of your soul is sold to the system, and you have to follow that energy. You have to follow that program, and that has happened over so many generations. The platform being set from slavery, and even before that, just the serfs and all that other nonsense that was happening with the kings and the queens back in the day. It's basically still the colonial program. It's owning people, owning land with illusions. So they own your soul with illusions. This is your birth certificate program. And since that's an actual alchemy, that's why people, and it's literally over generations. It's basically in your genetics nowadays. If you don't do anything about it, if you don't challenge it, because it's easier not to challenge it, because, well, for one thing, everybody's doing it, everybody's okay with it, and another thing is that it's too much for people to try to tap into who and what they are, because of how many generations they have to go back of healing. Like in order for me to share this information that I've been sharing in all of my videos, I'm not speaking from my own experience. It's my experience with a compassionate understanding and empathic understanding of my sister's experience, my brother's experience, my friend's experience, my mother's, father's, grandfather's, and my entire family's experience, being able to know them from the spirit and know what they had to go through, to know what my mom had to go through, what my grandfather and my father had to go through, and see how I am a reflection, an expansion of their experience, not to be weighed down by what they were weighed down with, and a lot of the times are still weighed down with in this artificial frame of mind, but to process that energy and also tap into who and what I am, and not to have any judgments or expectations on that and anything else, the entire experience at all, at the same time. That's a heavy duty ass thing to do. It's not just you. It's everything. It's everybody. Your experience is not singular in a sense of there's no separation between your soul and the soul of your brother and your sister and your mother and your father and the next people. That's what I was saying. Like, if it was just you and living as a parent now and a kid on the other side of the earth, and that was it, that's your kid now. You have to go protect that baby. You have to go help that baby survive. So that's the non-separation between humanity. Everything else is just like nationalism. It's a design to make us fight each other for what? For the control and authority of this parasitic system. So that's the work that needs to be done in realizing the non-separation between beings, conscious beings who are still connected to the spirit, still connected to nature. And this is why locking you into the physical reality is locking you in. It makes your body a prison. So when you hate this experience, when you hate humanity, when you hate nature based upon the parasitic human design program, then you are trapping yourself into the prison of your body and away from your soul. That's like people who are always angry, constantly being mad all the time. That's a way to learn. You can learn that way, but you're also not activating a part of yourself that has the ability to expand beyond that. You have to balance out those lower vibrations like anger and fear and everything that you feel in response to this parasitic program. You have to balance it out by understanding the divine essence of the soul and the spirit and nature overall. If you do not do that, then you will max out at the tool of low vibrations. Low vibrations are a tool to help you raise your vibration. High vibrations are a tool to also raise your vibrations, but to also see how low the vibrations are of yourself and the entire experience as a whole. And if you get caught up in either one of them, or tools in between, like cannabis is a tool to help you see a higher vibration of who and what you are. But if you only trap yourself in the tool and use it as like a thing and don't see that you are the vibration that tool is just helping you access a higher vibration of. You are, it's not the tool, it's you. So how can you be more of you without having to use so many tools? And in fact, utilizing these tools for what they are, just tools to get you to a higher space. Because you yourself are the vibration that is working with these tools, and you also are a tool yourself. Your intelligence, your soul, the way you perceive your reality, the way consciousness relates with the experience is a tool in itself. And that's the highest tool, the relationship between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, the relationship of flexibility, the flexibility in between those two, the higher and the low vibrations, the relationship between the soul, the mind, and the body. These are tools that you can use when you relate all of these experiences together. That is natural, and it's like the purest form of experiencing your reality when you utilize the essence of who you are as the tool. Because that's how you can expand. That's like when these musicians just generate these beautiful pieces out of so-called thin air. It's not thin air, it's their spirit. And they're using their feeling, they're like the amount of emotion, compassion that comes through some music. Like that's you utilizing your essence as a tool to share energy. So the more we get locked into the rigid nature, the 0.001% of who we are, the less we tap into the depths, the infinite space of who and what we are, the spiritual essence. This is where the spiritual warfare comes in. So we have to be sick, we have to be diseased, we have to be dumb, we have to be locked in to worshipping this program. This is what the alternative news in the last video I did is. The alternative news and the so-called revolution and the loving of the Constitution, the loving of your forefathers, the loving of the fiat currency system, the loving of the ridiculous versions of worshipping the body. It's fake, it's commercial, it's artificial. It's a synthetic form of humanity. So us being the bridge, humanity being the bridge between all of these balances of nature, you can understand now even more so how a disembodied conscious entity like a conscious parasite can now sit in the body of the soul human and work its tentacles through the human experience, because energetically humanity is not even human anymore. Humanity is de-evolving itself by buying into the parasitic program into something like an animalistic consciousness. This is why you are bombarded by meat eating and this war and destruction and low vibrations. That's the fight or flight sort of animalistic experience that is being promoted by this parasitic program. So if you de-evolve these divine beings into something that is more crude, then that's when you can create a gap in that reality. So this is why you have these parasites, or this poison in your food, in your water, and in the air. And this is why you're convinced to think it's you that's doing the problem. This is why the news blames everything, and politics blames everything on the people. It's because it doesn't want to be revealed for what it is. So it says, oh, it must be your genetics. It's like, wait a second, what about all this shit? It's in your genes. Like, it's got people who eat soul food a lot. They think it's in their genes. And you believe that into your genes. And then you believe that into your children's genes. And you pass it down. And don't do anything about the food and the parasites and the poisons in the food. You don't do anything about it. So it's not in your genes. It's in your etheric genes through belief systems. So you just pass your genes, etheric genes, on down the line, and that illusion gets expanded, and it gets deeper, and to a point to you actually defend it, where people are defending genetically modified foods, when people are defending the American dream and the forefathers and this Americanism, like Alex Jones and TYT. These are the biggest networks that are defending the parasite program. And we don't see it because we don't even know what love is. We don't know what nature is. We don't know what the soul is. Our definitions have been de-evolved forever, over so many generations. So yes, the best thing in the world to us will be something like what Alex Jones is talking about, or what TYT is talking about, because we don't even know who the fuck we are. We don't even know. Our definitions are so commercialized. The definitions of the essence of reality are so commercialized that if a commercial comes along that sounds great and trendy and hip, then shit, you're just gonna eat it up. And that's what happens. We love this shit. I used to work for Frito-Lay, and the highest selling item was anything that had flaming hot on it. Anything. And guess where the highest turnover for the hot Cheetos and flaming? It was in the inner cities. This is a systematic takedown. It's a systematic de-evolution program on purpose. This is why you have broken education systems of a broken conditioning education system program. You have boxes within boxes. On the psychological platform, on the biological platform, and on the spiritual platform. This is a psychological, biological, and a spiritual takeover of the human experience by this parasitic consciousness. And since it can morph, this is, like I said, and I've been saying in previous videos, this system has to adjust to the level of consciousness of the people. That's how it can stay alive. So it has to dumb you down and simultaneously give the illusion, of bringing you up. This is what NASA, SpaceX, the university system is. You believe in this shit over so many generations to a point to where you start to love your enslavement. You start to love your slave masters. The same people who are dumbing you down on a regular basis are the same people that largely most people are hoping to bring you up. NASA, technology, transhumanism, CERN, all this shit that's out there to so-called be the evolution of humanity, the next step, even into your new age shit. The secret space program and disclosure and all that shit. Those are the same government people who are making money, profit off of you selling your soul to the system. Through the birth certificate program and through the flaming hot Cheetos program. Systematically poisoning you and profiting off of ignorance. Every moment of the day. And we think that that's progress. We think that that's like this is the spiritual Stockholm syndrome. And we don't see that this exists the way it exists because we have no power for ourselves. We've been so de-evolved and disempowered over so many generations. We don't know what true movement is. Like the reason why you don't hear Malcolm X speeches, the reason why you don't hear Black Panther speeches, the reason why you don't hear about the Black Panthers anymore and what they were truly talking about. You only hear about, the bullshit that puts out. I just heard about this, and I was going to use it for this video too, but I'll just say it now. Vibe has on their website, LL Cool J sent something out, a tweet or something, to Barack Obama to pardon some rappers or something like that before he leaves the office. All of these political prisoners that are locked up, all the Black Panthers, Leonard Peltier, Assata Shakur that can't even come back to this country, all of the things that are so much more impactful on the consciousness of humanity. And these actors maintain the low tones, the low vibrations. Of course, and people who follow him and follow the rappers that he was talking about, who got locked up for some kind of petty drug possession thing or something like that. So they're locked up right now. But their followers are like, yeah, let's release them. Like, that's maintaining some of the lowest vibrations when you understand that what would happen if he said, could you release Leonard Peltier? Could you release any one of the Mumia? Could you release any one of the Black Panthers that have been locked up for decades? This is the intention of Hollywood, to maintain the de-evolution program of human consciousness, so that these parasites can continue to make a profit off of your ignorance. And these Hollywood celebrities ain't no different from these parasites, because they themselves are also profiting off of your ignorance. This is why they are put out there in your face. This is why the TYT is out there and Alex Jones is out there and teaming up with presidential elects and all that other shit. This is why this stuff is the way it is. To maintain a particular vibration and a frequency, no different than this hyperactivity and this destructive we can't see it because it's simultaneously being loved by so many people. Like this is a good example of it. The food that you're eating that tastes so good, it feels so good in that moment, is literally killing you and de-evolving the consciousness of your children. And that de-evolution has overtaken the forward progress, the movement, because our definitions on every layer of reality have been de-evolved themselves. When we don't know what love is, we don't know what reality is. This stuff is for the kids. Like, I used to eat hot fries every day. That was like my dinner a lot of the time. Top ramen and hot fries. And some 75-cent salami from the liquor store. That was dinner. Every day. And trying to get a free Sprite from looking under the cap and seeing which one was free. That was my dinner every day for a long time. But that's because kids do that shit. Like, I mean, that's you're moving so fast that you just eat this garbage. You don't think about it. And also, you don't when the system is designed to keep people in debt, and particular people in debt, then you program them to say, oh, well, it's in your genes. I mean, that's game over right there. You've got them psychologically enslaved. And then you have an entire group of other brothers and sisters, humans, who are saying, yeah, let's go to war. Yeah, let's keep selling this product. Yeah, let's keep making these commercials. Yeah, let's keep installing this stuff into the inner cities. Yeah, let's do this. The commercials themselves add credibility to the destructive programming. That is a subconscious hypnosis. Commercials, they make it okay for you. They make that stuff your reality. All the news, the mainstream news, the way they glorify war, Hollywood glorifies war and keeps telling you these World War II stories and World War I stories, and keeps telling you all these, like, making heroes out of this program. That desensitizes you overall. And in that desensitization program, it allows the system to continue to expand. This is the design of this de-evolution program. And with the foundation to, a large part of the foundation to all of this is, you have no natural human expectations for yourself because you think you're a fucking monkey. You think that you're just evolved from a monkey. You believe in the evolution program. You believe in the Big Bang Theory. This is why the looking into the Earth realm or the flat Earth realm is so important, because of what it tears down. It tears down all of the systems that are part of this parasitic programming that keeps humanity from understanding the essence of itself. So if you think you're a monkey, then you will limit yourself to the animal consciousness. You will never tap into the essence of the divine human consciousness because you truly believe in your conscious and subconscious reality, your relationship to the subconscious reality. You truly believe in those two vibrations, that you are of the animal consciousness, and that today is the highest form of humanity and the highest form of whatever, because yesterday you were a fucking monkey. And before that, you were nothing. You weren't even a soul. You were just some cosmic fart in space that shat out a bunch of planets and some dinosaurs and then some monkeys and then you and then a iPhone 7. And then here you are, having the time of your life, going to the club every Friday and Saturday night, working 40 plus hours a week because we're the smartest monkeys in the universe. That's the lowest, simplest form of ridiculousness that you could ever imagine, but it's working. Shit works. I mean, as long as people keep believing it and as long as the system keeps expanding around that, shit, what are you going to do? But this is what's happening right now. People are reconnecting to nature. People are reconnecting to who and what they are. They're reconnecting to powering through all of that nonsense, powering through all of the programming. Like this image that you're looking at right now is designed to create a vibration, a frequency in your conscious and subconscious reality, in your psyche, in your relationship the body has to the soul, in your relationship that the soul has to this entire experience, in your intelligence, in your emotional body. Everything matters. Everything is an alchemy. And when you are limiting yourself to the alchemy of a parasitic consciousness, then you're separating yourself from the potentials. When you limit yourself to an animalistic consciousness, see, this is what's happening in that de-evolution program. It has to first de-evolve you from the human experience to the animal experience. And then from the animal experience, you de-evolve to the parasitic experience, to where you just do exactly what the parasites are doing and just destroy and live off of the life force of another living entity. So this is what the humanity underneath the parasitic programming is doing to the earth plane as a whole. It's parasiting the way the fiat currency system, the way the separation from human nature, the way the military industrial complex and all of these illusions are. The illusions are the parasitic program. And when you de-evolve with these illusions, then you are actually creating a space for the parasites who are aware of the intentions of this program. You're creating an opening for them to inhabit, a body for the parasites to inhabit through low vibrations, through de-evolution, and so on and so forth. The way this is one of the main reasons and ways this has been able to expand so much is because we have been soaked of information. We have been manipulated to believe in versions of reality that are untrue, largely. We've de-evolved ourselves downward because we didn't know that we are more than just the body. We are more than just the brain as intellect. No, there's a soul intellect that is higher. The higher mind is actually the brain, is actually the mind that you are. We didn't even know this shit existed. We didn't even know that there are energetic balances within the body. So as we are expanding our consciousness, we are expanding the consciousness of the entire human experience. And this is why this system needs to continue to wrap itself around every single layer of engagement that humanity has in order to keep us from expanding as far as we can go. And like this image is, the awakening of the planet awakening, experiencing a shift of consciousness so great that the governments around the world conduct psychological warfare on their own citizens in an attempt to control them by lowering their vibrations and keeping them in a constant state of fear. This is exactly what is happening. The earth plane is underneath the enslavement program of a parasitic consciousness. And in order for that parasitic consciousness to continue to live off of our body, every body's, your spiritual body, your physical body, your psychological body, your emotional body, it needs to dumb down all of those bodies to create a space for it to thrive. So if you are having difficulty, if you feel like you're running into walls with movement or whatever, take a step back and realize how much work needs to be done individually and collectively, and see that things are moving. And it's not necessarily our responsibility to judge or have expectations on the speed of that movement, but to be open, and the highest vibration is to be happy, be in a space of grace with the fact that this shift is happening, and allow it to happen naturally, because that's the best way to allow it to be. If you force anything, that's like the rigidity, that's not flexible with the experience, it will have a tendency to break. And we don't need to break anymore. If we're breaking anything, ourselves, if we're breaking anything, we have to break these illusions, break the spells, break the artificial, break the synthetic, in order to allow ourselves to have a space to grow. Like the shell of the husk of a seed, you have to break in order for that sprout to come through. It has to break through its own husk and then break the surface of the soil. And it's going to take a lot of work, because this shell is thick in so many people, and that soil is dry as shit and has very little minerals left in it. But there are minerals there. There is energy there. And you are that energy too. We are strong enough to break through all of these illusions and come to a space of balance with ourselves and with each other and with nature. And it really is up to us to realize that it is everything. Everything needs to be addressed. Not half this shit, not take what we've gotten so far. No, you have to realize that this is a parasitic program. Everything that you so-called think is great, like when one person said, "Oh, you're benefiting from the system," it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? The colonial program. Don't act like you don't benefit from. Get the fuck out of here with that stupid shit. Beyond that, this is a parasitic program. Obviously, with everything that I am speaking on, it's many people can see that this is a risk to be speaking, even mentioning this information to people, especially to the world on YouTube, on the internet, and publicly, and all that other stuff. I don't think on that level anymore, because there's another space that I'm tapped into that is, it's higher of the soul. There is no death. There is no death in this experience. You have to anchor yourself in the forever life that you are, the existence, the fire that will not go out. See, people's fire have been dampened out for so long because it's easy, it's comfortable to just stay in the boxes. But you can't breathe in a box. You can't light a fire in the box. If you try to light a fire in a box, it'll go out, or it'll burn the fucking box down. And this is that shell I was talking about in order for humanity to grow. The fire needs to come from the inside, not the outside. If the fire comes from the outside, it'll be coming from the box. And that fire will only be, it'll be a controlled fire to expand the box. This is what the alternative news is, and so on and so forth. It can't come from the 0.001%. That fire needs to come from the umpteenth degree of your soul in order to continue to expand into what's going on. And that's the only way we'll be able to see that every part of this system is parasitic. Every part of it needs to be addressed. These government officials, politicians, university professors, all of celebrities, Hollywood people, they are not leaders. They have zero concern for you. Zilch. Nothing. They are not at all concerned with human nature. They're only concerned with their place in the box. And until we let that go, until we realize, hey, all this shit's got to go. All of it has to go. And you can do it tactfully. But if you do it from the position of these slave masters' perspective, then you're not going to be doing anything. This is what TYT and Alex Jones and all these fake ass politicians are about. They want you to do a revolution, a fast food revolution. Like, no, you can intellectually, from the soul essence, from your soul intellect, evolve this program. So, I need to evolve my breakfast program right now. Get some food in my belly. So that's pretty much all I wanted to share with this video. So thank you for joining me, and until next time, from all my relations, peace, love, and harmony.